What is up, degenerates? It's Friday. Happy Friday, October 17th. Today we're going to talk about Roundhill. They declared today. First, we'll look at the market a little bit as Roundhill sees it. Horrible morning. Everything was red. Continued from yesterday, but had a little comeback. So we got some green in here. Anything that stands out? The two Roundhill Bitcoin and Ethereum funds were down, 1.83 and 2.33. Let's see. Apple was up 1.96, so AAPW 2.69. That's nice. Let's see. Coin was up 1.75. COIW 2.14. They captured more, 122% of that. Strategy was up 2.12%. Hallelujah, it's been a while. MSW was up 2.45. They captured 15% more. Let's see. Netflix was up 1.33. NFLW 1.78. Tesla 2.46. I'm going to talk about Tesla in a minute. TSLW is up 3.04. So the average of the underlyings was up 0.52. The average of Roundhill funds was up 0.39. So they didn't capture the full amount. They captured 75%. But we'll take it. Now let's look at the declarations. WPay declares Monday. They pay Wednesday, but they paid 85 cents. Let me go over one more. 81% yield. YBTC and YETH declare Tuesdays. They're at 52% and 82%. Again, I averaged the last three distributions. So they're a 36-cent average. They've paid 38, 36, 34. That's YETH. And then Wednesday declarations are XDTE, QDTE, RDTE. And XDTE, it's in red here. That means it's the lowest yield of the Roundhill funds. 23%, still not bad. And these are the 0 DTEs. 30% for QDTE, 43% for RDTE, that's the Russell. Then Maggie, which is the Mag 7, they declare Thursdays, pay Tuesdays, I think. I have it here. No, they pay Monday. You can, if you Roundhill funds, you can get a payment every day. If you space it out properly, buy the right ones. Anyway, Maggie 32%, AAPW. These are ones that declared today, and they will pay Tuesday. They went down from 38 cents to 21 cents, so they're a 31% yield now. AMDW went from $1.19 to $1.36. They went up, but remember, AMD's just gone way up. That's a 66% yield based on that average. AMZW went from 51 to 49, 44% yield. AVGW, which is Avgo, went from 92 to 74. That's a 49% yield. BRKW, which is Berkshire. What happened here? Oh, Berkshire was down 0.04, but BRKW was up 0.66. That's why that's a crazy looking negative number there. They went from 26 to 22 cents. That's a 30% yield. Now we get into the 100% yielders. COIW went from $1.15 to 80 cents. So that dropped, but they're still at 115% yield. GOO or GOW went from 68 cents to 52 cents. That's a 49% yield. HOOW, HOOW, which is a Robinhood based, went from $2.18 to $1.48. So they did drop, but that's still 139% yield. It's in green, which means it's the highest yielder of the Roundhill funds. And I believe it was last week as well. METW, which is Meta, went from 40 cents to 55 cents. That's an increase. 54% yield. By the way, Yield Boost is coming out with a Meta fund, and there's another one. I can't remember. We'll talk about that another time. MSFW, which is Strategy, went from 42 cents to 36 cents. That's a 42% yield. I'm sorry, MSFW is Microsoft. MSTW, which is Strategy, went from 83 cents to 38 cents. That's weak sauce, but it's still 111% yield. NFLW, which is Netflix, went from 33 cents to 55 cents. That's a nice increase. They're at 56% yield. NVDW, NVIDIA, went from 76 to 65 cents. They're still averaging 85 cents because that 3 payments ago was $1.12. That'll drop off next week, so we'll see what happens. But that's a 95% yield. PLTW, Palantir, went from 85 cents to $1. That is a 91 average, 104% yield. And TSLW went from 70 cents to 61, so that's a drop, but it's still just over 100% yield. And the average yield of these is 68.73%. So that's sweet. So that's the Roundhill. We do that Fridays because they declare on Fridays, most of them. And but I want to show you Tesla. We all know it's up, but look right here. They got earnings coming up next week, Wednesday. And I heard from a little birdie that they're going to beat expectations. So keep an eye on that. Volatility's been up because earnings are coming. So just something to consider. That's all I wanted to talk about today. And stay tuned tomorrow. We'll do our prediction video. We will predict the distributions or the declarations of over 100 funds. All the ones we cover. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, have a great day. Let's be careful out there.